I could not begin this conference without pausing to acknowledge the recent passing of two giants within the corrections family and our wider community. I speak of first Pastor Ronnie Smith of the First Church of God on Engle Street, but also our senior chaplain within the Department of Corrections. Pastor Ronnie was a friend of mine of more than 30 years, who often came to see me and always prayed with and for me. His passion of caring for the downtrodden, and particularly those within corrections, will never be forgotten, nor will his zest for life and love of his country and its people. And secondly, the sudden passing on Saturday morning of Assistant Commissioner of Corrections, Mr. Clarence Davis, a committed and dedicated member of the corrections family, who similarly will be sorely missed by all of us in and without of corrections. So I extend to both widows and their families the sincerest condolences of this entire ministry. We have lost family. As we approach the end of my current appointment as the Minister of Labour, Home Affairs and Housing, and in accordance with my established practice, I take this opportunity to report on the 7 departments that comprise the Ministry of Labour, Home Affairs and Housing, and I apologize in advance for the length of this, but it's necessary. Those departments being the Bermuda Police Service, the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service, the Bermuda Regiment, the Department of Corrections, the Department of Immigration, the Department of Labor and Training, and the Bermuda Housing Corporation. I'm going to start with the Bermuda Police Service. And let me state at the outset that we are greatly encouraged with the new leadership of the Bermuda Police Service under Commissioner Michael De Silva and Deputy Commissioner Michael Jackson. You will know that significant resources have been provided to the service to meet its mandate. Our request to implement a more proactive approach to policing and for officers to enforce all the laws of this land have been implemented, and the results are self-evident. Let me also reiterate that the relationship between Government House, the government, and the BPS has never been better. We are committed to working together in the area of public safety. This innovative joint effort, together with outside assistance when necessary, has been extremely successful. Some examples of that innovation include the recruitment of a number of experienced investigation officers from the UK and a new Assistant Commissioner of Police Serious Crime, Mr. David Murfield, who began employment on the 5th of July. He has been appointed for a period of 2 years, during which time he will be tasked with establishing best practice in serious crime investigations, particularly in the areas of gang suppression and violence reduction. Mr. Murfield edged out 2 other shortlisted candidates by providing evidence of recent operational experience and investigative successes. Mr. Murfield retired in April as a Chief Superintendent from the West Midlands Police after a long and distinguished investigative career that includes serving as Senior Investigating Officer and then Crime Manager for Serious Crimes. He spent the last 4 years in charge of the West Midlands Criminal Investigative Division with responsibility for all major crimes, including gangs, murder, kidnap, and child abuse. Mr. Murfield holds a law degree from Coventry University and a diploma in criminal justice. He is a trainer for West Midlands Police and the National Policing Improvement Agency in murder investigations and witness protection. A number of enhancements to policies and procedures are being implemented as well. Some of them are a code of conduct written and approved by the Police Complaints Authority, the Attorney General's Chambers, and the Bermuda Police Association. The introduction of a wellness and fitness program to include circuit training and health screening. The next Recruit Foundation course will pilot these new programs. A functioning health and safety committee now established that meets once a month. A new shift system at ComOps and the PSU is being tried in a trial period. Both systems agreed by Police Association in a memorandum of understanding. Implementation of an enhanced To the Constable program will commence with the next Recruit Foundation course. Investigation of a new staff appraisal system to incorporate best practice in policing organizations. And implement a new Reserve Police recruitment and retention plan. Early in the assumption of his appointment, Commissioner De Silva expressed the desire to have the service assessed by Her Majesty's Inspectorate of Constabularies. Progress has been made in that regard, and I anticipate His Excellency the Governor will shortly make a formal request with the government's support to the UK authorities for that inspection to be carried out. The efforts in strengthening the Bermuda Police Service has borne considerable fruit, as evidenced by the speedy arrest of suspects, their prosecution and conviction in the courts. As you are aware, in January this year, the FBI conducted an on-island seminar for key stakeholders in the anti-gang initiative. Subsequently, a number of line officers from the Gang Targeting Unit, the Intelligence Unit, along with 2 corrections officers, have been to the FBI. In addition to the FBI, they undertook orientation with the U.S. District Attorney's Office and the District of Columbia Metropolitan Police Intelligence, Narcotics, and Gang Units. The impact of gang culture and related violence continues to generate fear among neighborhoods across Bermuda. The nature of the violence, often committed in neighborhoods and public places and witnessed by innocent citizens, presents an ongoing challenge to both police and community partners. Government recognizes that such a challenge can only be met from creating strong partnership arrangements, ensuring that offenders are caught and convicted. Help and rehabilitation is on offer to those who want it, and communities have a strong moral voice. The BPS has modified its gang and violence reduction strategy to include a common framework for enabling partners and communities to engage directly with each other. An interagency task force would include those public and private sector agencies that play key roles in tackling crime. This joined-up approach increases the effort to tackle a number of complex social and criminal issues to reduce gang-related violence. The strategy aims to reduce gang crime and reoffending, address overlaps and gaps in existing approaches used by all agencies, and identify solutions, align the work of partners more effectively by expanding or improving on established partnerships, tackle social exclusion of both offenders and their families, include wider social agencies to increase the effort on targeted offenders, and create an integrated offender management regime. Improve information sharing across the task force agencies and improve public confidence in the criminal justice system. There are 3 main areas of responsibilities: targeting and enforcement, police-led; engagement and empowerment, government-led; and community advice and support, community-led. Much work has been accomplished in this regard already, most quite deliberately out of the media spotlight and without public fanfare. I can report that a gang task force has been formed to bring together persons of various disciplines in an effort to approach the problems associated with gang activity from a comprehensive perspective. In addition to the Bermuda Police Service, such groups as the Department of Immigration, the Department of Child and Family Services, the Department of Court Services, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, HM Customs, Education, and the Department of Corrections formed the task force. Understandably, the BPS did not wish to lead the initiative, as it is more than a policing issue, and so coordination is being provided from ministry headquarters. The visit of the U.S. Attorney General, Mr. Eric Holder, in late September provided an impetus for the task force to be formally established. The U.S. Consulate is interested in the task force and would like to organize another volunteer visitor program to be focused on gang intervention. The Consulate has previously organized about 4 or 5 of these programs focusing on a variety of social issues since 2005. The program is an initiative of the U.S. State Department. Legislation was passed in this session to establish a DNA database to aid in investigations. This database has increased both fairness and overall effectiveness of the criminal justice system. The actual database now has more than 1,800 people entered on it, which has yielded several positive identifications on outstanding crimes. Modern technology is also being utilized to aid in the fight against crime. In order to increase the response options to threatening situations, 1 out of every 3 officers is trained and equipped in the use of taser. This augments the police officer's ability to mitigate a threatening situation, such as an armed suspect, with enough force so that the lives of officers and others, as well as the suspect, can be protected. The video-audio capability of tasers has proved invaluable in documenting these incidents. The expansion of CCTV network with the use of the latest modern technology is being installed in various areas across the island. By expanding its use, the BPS is better able to more effectively investigate crime. Portable CCTV is also being used at large public events, along with robust police enforcement, to provide more security at those events and thus serve as a deterrent. Crime Stoppers has also updated its use of technology. One can now send a text message from their cell phone to report a crime to Crime Stoppers, as well as the ability to report crime via the World Wide Web. We encourage the public to utilize this technology to anonymously report crimes. Crime Stoppers can be reached at their new number of 800-8477 or 800-TIPS, or submit a tip online at www.crimestoppers.pa. The Bermuda Police Service is tackling the rise of crime and violence by increased police visibility. To aid in this effort, the Mobile Command Center is deployed to specific island hotspots. An aggressive recruitment and career development strategy has been implemented, targeted specifically at creating a sustainable framework that encompasses succession planning and increased recruitment of Bermudians. This year alone, there have been 5 Bermudian university graduates that have attained their degree from overseas and are now back in Bermuda working as police officers. The strategy of recruiting Bermudians has recently seen increased interest, with the current Recruit Foundation course consisting of 10 students, 9 of whom are Bermudian and 1 is a spouse of a Bermudian. The BPS report regularly on crime statistics, but it is worth noting here that drug arrests and drug confiscations have all seen an increase this year. Additionally, there have been significant increases in the number of individuals being charged for money laundering offenses. This report would not be complete without a comment on the relationship with the Bermuda Police Association, which is cordial. There are 2 matters of note that remain outstanding currently, and both involve money. You will be aware that the government settled with the BPA a sizable monetary award last year. One of those issues is before the Privy Council regarding combined allowance, and the other impacts on pensions. We disagree on the way forward in regard to these 2 issues, but I do not believe it negatively impacts on the day-to-day interaction with the service and its members. This is borne out by the significant increase in funding for unbudgeted overtime, resources and personnel to combat the recent uptake in violent crime. With this increase, the BPS has increased its work with the public as it steps up its community policing. The community will have noticed in recent weeks a steady number of persons being charged in the courts for serious crimes. This can be attributed to 3 things: more effective policing, greater public support for the police, and successful prosecutions. This, of course, comes at a price. A significant increase in funding that will be the subject of supplementary requests to the legislature. That said, efforts are underway to maintain the current deployment in a more cost-effective manner. Clearly, an increasing number of members of the public have decided that enough is enough with regard to the general lawlessness in the country by reporting crime to the police. I wish to first thank them for their efforts and encourage them to continue to work with the BPS to improve security in our land. You will know that it is this partnership, more than anything else, that will contribute to a return to the peaceful way of life we all seek. Similarly, I wish to thank every member of the Bermuda Police Force, ably led by Commissioner Michael De Silva, for their outstanding work in policing Bermuda.